Howdy, howdy, listeners. This is your host, Random Nerd, on the Political Thinking Nerd podcast, where we tackle the issues hitting your life. Government waste, divisive policies, you name it. I'm a political activist fighting for a government that serves you, not elites or bureaucrats. Episode 2, we're kicking off the series diving into why Americans don't trust their government anymore. 70% don't, per 2025 polls. To understand this, we're starting at the root, the U.S. Constitution, the backbone of our constitutional republic. Why was it written the way it was? What's its spirit? Its philosophy? Get ready to nerd out with a deep dive that's still relatable for everyday folks like you. This series is for you, feeling the pinch of rising costs or community tensions, wondering if government's on your side, and showing how the Constitution fights back. Today we'll explore the principles of liberty, limited government, and popular sovereignty. Why the founders chose them, how they shaped the Constitution as a republic, not a pure democracy or monarchy, and why it matters today. We'll set up how checks and balances and compromise bring these ideas to life, and setting up the main podcast arc series on post 9/11 trust erosion, starting with former President George Bush. Hit that follow on Podbean, and let's dive into the Constitution's spirit. So why did the founders write the Constitution this way? Let's find out. Hey, my critical thinkers, loving this dive into Constitution spirit? Got a critical question about why it was written this way? Join my $5 a month Beacons membership for exclusive questions and answer episodes answering your questions. Share your questions or thoughts to my email at criticalthinkingnerd@gmail.com, or drop a one-time donation on my Ko-Fi or Cash App link in my Beacons bio link. The why, the philosophy and intent of the U.S. Constitution. Imagine you're building a house. You need a strong foundation to keep it standing through storms of time, right? That's the U.S. Constitution for our nation, a constitutional republic designed to protect your freedom and keep government in check. But why was it written this way? What's the philosophy, the intent behind it? Let's break it down for everyday folks. The Constitution, ratified in 1787, wasn't just a rule book. It was a bold idea to create a government that serves the people, not a king or a mob. The founders, guys like James Madison, who was only 36, and Alexander Hamilton, even younger at 32, had just won a revolution against King George III, who taxed colonists without their say and even jailed them without trials. They wanted a system that guaranteed liberty, your freedom to speak, worship, and live without government meddling. They also wanted limited government, keeping power small so it couldn't bully you, unlike Britain's monarchy. And they wanted popular sovereignty, meaning the people, not elites, hold the ultimate power through votes and representation. But why a constitutional republic, not a pure democracy? In a pure democracy, majority rules, 50% plus one, could vote to take your rights away. The founders, inspired by thinkers like John Locke and Montesquieu, feared this, quote, tyranny of majority, unquote. A republic uses elected representatives and a constitution to protect everyone's rights, even minorities. Think of it like a referee in a game. Rules ensure fairness, not just majority wins. The US Constitution's intent was to balance power, protect freedom, and let the people govern without chaos. This philosophy came from hard lessons. The Articles of Confederation, America's first government from 1777, was a flop. No federal taxes, no strong leadership, just a weak Congress. States acted like mini countries, fighting over trade and debts. For example, Shays' Rebellion in 1786, when Massachusetts farmers rioted over taxes, showed the chaos. The founders said, quote, "We need a stronger system, but not a king," unquote. So they wrote the Constitution to create a republic with a federal government strong enough to unite, but limited enough to protect you. That's the why. A government for the people, by the people, but with guardrails to keep it fair. The how. Principles shaping the US Constitution. So how did the founders make this philosophy real? Through three core principles baked into the Constitution's DNA: liberty, limited government, and popular sovereignty. Let's unpack each one and see how they shape the document for you. First, liberty. The founders wanted you free to live your life. Speak, worship, work without government stepping on your toes. Locke's idea of natural rights inspired this. You're born with freedom, and government exists to protect it, not take it. That's why the Constitution's preamble starts with "we the people," and why the Bill of Rights, added in 1791 after Anti-Federalist demands, guarantees free speech, First Amendment, gun rights, Second, and protection from warrantless searches, Fourth Amendment. Liberty means government serves you, not the other way around. Next, limited government. The founders knew power corrupts. King George proved it. They designed a system where government only has specific powers, listed in Articles 1 through 3. Congress, President, courts. Anything else? It belongs to states or you per the 10th Amendment. This was a reaction to the Articles' weakness. No federal power to tax or regulate trade, but also a guard against tyranny. Madison, in the Federalist Papers, argued for a government strong enough to function, but restrained to avoid abuse. Today, this fights $247 billion in government waste, ensuring your taxes don't fund bloat. Finally, popular sovereignty. The people hold the power, not elites or kings. You vote for representatives, the House. Senators, originally state chosen, now elected via the 17th Amendment. And indirectly, the President, the Electoral College. The Constitution structure, elections, amendments, ensures your voice matters. But it's not all free for all. The Republic's rules prevent mob rule, balancing majority with the minority rights. These principles made the US Constitution a constitutional republic, not a monarchy or pure democracy, ensuring freedom, limits, and your say, then and now. Historical context, how it was written. How did the founders pull this off? Let's go to 1787, Philadelphia, where 55 delegates, farmers, lawyers, some as young as 32, met at the Constitutional Convention. It was a hot mess at first. The Articles of Confederation were failing. States bickered, debts piled up. Shays' rebellion scared everyone. The founders, led by Madison, wanted a republic that balanced power and freedom. They debated for months. Big states like Virginia pushed the Virginia Plan, wanting representation based on population. Small states like New Jersey demanded equal votes. Tempers flared. Some delegates even walked out. But they compromised, creating the House, population-based, and Senate, equal votes. A deal we'll cover next episode as compromise, follow-on episodes. They also split power into 3 branches: legislative, executive, judicial, to prevent any one group from dominating, setting up checks and balances. The Federalist Papers by Hamilton, Madison, and Jay sold this to the public, explaining why a republic protects liberty better than a democracy. Anti-federalists like Brutus worried about federal power demanding a Bill of Rights, added in 1791. This clash shaped the United States Constitution intent, a republic where the people govern, where rules protect everyone. From average folks, this meant a government accountable to you, not a king with your rights locked in, or even government Congress. Why it matters today. Why does this matter? The United States Constitution spirit, liberty, limited government, popular sovereignty, is why you're not under a dictator or mob rule. These principles protect you when government overreaches. Liberty means your speech and privacy are yours, not the Fed's. Limited government stops bloat, though U.S. Congress policies test it. Popular sovereignty ensures your vote counts, even when polarization screams traitor or fascist. The constitutional republic framework keeps power balanced. Your local community, your job, your voice matter. Next episode, we'll dive deeper into these principles with the Constitution's preamble, setting up our arc on how 9/11's policies shook trust, the U.S. Constitution's intent, freedom with guardrails, is why it still stands. Let's wrap it up. Today we dove deep into the Constitution's spirit, liberty, limited government, popular sovereignty, and why the founders wrote it as a constitutional republic to protect you from tyranny and chaos. From the Articles' failure to 1787's debate, they built a system for the people, not elites, balancing freedom and order. As an activist, I'm fired up seeing these principles fight $247 billion in waste and extreme polarization of U.S. politics, proving the U.S. Constitution's strength. Next episode dives into the preamble of the U.S. Constitution. If you're finding value in Political Thinking Nerd podcast and our dive into Constitution's fight against government abuse, help keep this series growing. Subscribe to the Beacon's membership for $5 a month for exclusive Q&A episodes, sharing and answering your critical questions about the Constitution, like Why a republic, not a democracy? Or support this passion project with a one-time donation on my Ko-Fi or Cash App in my Beacon's bio link. Every dollar helps keep Political Thinking Nerd free. I'm a single voice sharing history to build an informed society, and your generous support makes it possible. Share your critical questions on X with hashtag Political Thinking Nerd. Hit that follow button on Podbean. Until next time, this is Random Nerd. If you found this episode meaningful, please continue to listen to my next episode as I dive deeper and research further to share my knowledge with you. Thank you.